to my team members, from general managers down to bartenders, from busboys through servers. And I asked each one of them, if they owned the business, what would be the one thing they would change immediately to turn around results? And what was also interesting is they indicated that they knew Red Robin could be better, more nimble, more flexible, and more responsive, and could get back to being a best-in-class restaurant. And we agreed that there was a lot more we could do and that we wanted to do to make Red Robin great. We already had within our organization a really significant passion, a craving to be part of a winning team. So the important question to answer was, if our goal is to achieve greatness or best in class, what did greatness look like? And for the answer to that billion-dollar question, we looked at ourselves in the mirror, examined where we stood today, and also looked at how we measured up to competitors who were already best in class. That's an important distinction. One of the problems with Red Robin is they were measuring themselves against themselves, and they were picking what I would call the tall pygmies as competitive benchmarks. And once you stop doing that and you start to compare yourself against the best-in-class competitors, not only in casual dining, but in fast casual and in QSR and in fine dining, a whole different picture develops. Now, I mentioned Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, and it's no secret I'm a huge fan. And I convened the Red Robin team, and we borrowed an exercise from Good to Great called Confronting the Brutal Facts. We looked at what had been happening to our business, and we focused not only on our performance metrics that were vital to our ability to grow, but also on how we stacked up against best-in-class competition. Here's some of the things we discovered back in late 2010 when we went through this critical exercise. We took a look at performance of our stock price compared to other casual dining chains the previous 8 years. For example, here's what would have happened to your investment over time if you bought $100 worth of Red Robin stock in 2002 when the company went public. And then any one of these other competitors, BJ's, Buffalo Wild Wings, Chipotle, California Pizza Chicken, and Panera. What this chart shows is that everyone's star was rising from 2002 to 2007, when the restaurant industry as a whole hit a big air pocket. But in 2009, even though everyone continued to face the same macroeconomic challenges, these best-in-class concepts bounced back, except Red Robin. Your $100 investment in Red Robin in 2002 would have been worth about $155 by late 2010. Not a great reward for your investment and your patience. Think about this. It's the same industry, the same macroeconomic challenges. And we asked ourselves, what did these competitors do differently to have a far more favorable operating financial performance than we did? We then took a look at performance closer to the front lines of our business. This shows year-over-year same-store sales trends at Red Robin versus the same 5 chains from 2006 through 2009. Even in 6 and 7, when Red Robin had increases, they were far smaller than our best-in-class competitors. And again, same industry, same challenges. What were they doing that we weren't? Here's another one that reflects earnings before interest and taxes, depreciation, and amortization, or EBITDA. Once again, most of the competing concepts did a much better job than we did generating cash. And while on this particular score, CPK doesn't look so great, there's little comfort when you look at the results of most of the other players compared to Red Robin. So based on these and other metrics, it was clear that even under the same economic conditions, many of our casual dining competitors thrived while we struggled. At our annual leadership summit in January in San Antonio, Texas, I shared these brutal facts with every one of our general managers and franchisees. And I told our leaders that the economy would no longer serve as an excuse for lack of performance, just like our best-in-class competitors. If we resolve to be best-in-class and achieve greatness, then everyone in the Red Robin organization must be committed to focusing all their energy, ideas, and action on accomplishing this goal. Our entire organization heard the message loud and clear, that it would not be business as usual at Red Robin, Across the board, I got feedback from our team members that for the first time they appreciated the direct honesty and transparency with which we talked about the business. And that's another important lesson. Folks on the front lines know exactly what is happening. They're not confused. They serve the guest at the table. They handle guest compliments and complaints. They're not confused. Only senior management gets confused. Therein lies the problem. The other thing we did to the fantastic Red Robin culture is we added another layer. We added the three big words: accountability, innovation, and results. Or, as we say now, we're breathing the air. Importantly, we also committed to a new vision to reflect who we really thought we were as a brand and what was really relevant to our guests. A vision that really captured our personality, reflects how our most loyal guests perceive us, and what brings them back to Red Robin time and time again. And here's our new vision statement: to inspire crazy loyalty through memorable yum experiences for our team members, guests, and communities. If you're wondering exactly what crazy loyalty looks like, let me show you a few photos taken by our very own guests who are clearly crazy about Red Robin, our raving fans. After the January summit, as our leaders were sharing their call to action with their teams in each restaurant, I continued to work with our board, our senior leadership, and our franchisees toward two goals. First, identifying and concretely acting on areas where we could quickly achieve improved results. And then second, plotting a course for sustainable long-term improvement. And we developed a strategic plan to strengthen our business and improve results both short and long term. And we talked about it in terms of Project RED, R-E-D. RED stands for revenue growth, expense management, and efficient capital deployment. Red also happens to be the universal international color for urgency. So it was clear that not only were we aware of what we needed to do to turn the business around, we knew these things required immediate, and I reinforce immediate, attention. Accordingly, we began working with an unprecedented level of urgency on our strategies and tactics to make RED a reality. The analogy I use with my folks is you need to perform like your hair's on fire. Now, I've done that for a long time, and you can see the result. Let me talk to you about what I mean by revenue growth very quickly. We wanted to make sure we made an immediate and a longer-term bump on driving revenue. These included things like rolling out a new best-in-class loyalty program. It including taking back the bar. Red Robin is a bar, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. This is the one thing when I talk to team members, no matter who it was, in confidence, and I said, what's the one thing you would do if you owned this restaurant to immediately improve their business? And they said, Steve, we have a bar. Our bartenders are making milkshakes. Can I do happy hour? Like happy hour? What a concept that is. How the Romans were doing happy hour. And last but not least, we had to make our marketing more efficient and effective. Let me tell you about the royalty program. It's called Red Royalty. It had been in the pilot testing for over a year, and we decided to roll it out to more than 300 restaurants in January. You've probably heard of frequency programs. The most example of that, most easiest example is bring your punch card in, 10 punches, and you get a free fill in the blank. Red Royalty is a best-in-class loyalty program. And we went to school on the best loyalty programs there were, most of them outside the food service industry, so that we could understand a profitable, easy, and robust program that allowed us to better understand individual guest behavior and tailor the incentives specifically to that guest's frequency and purchase behavior. That also began to lay the pipe for us to do something very interesting in our business. And that is, instead of looking at guests as a transaction and a check average, we can now look at guests in terms of their lifetime value to Red Robin. We know how often you come, and we know what you buy. And we can talk to you directly via email, and if we haven't seen you for a while, you get a customized message. Or if we know what your favorite product is, we can tell you it's going to be on special. And we can then track your behavior through credit cards and Red Royalty, and we can begin to calculate your lifetime value. That's a concept that in direct response marketing is used all the time, but virtually never in our business, so we're pretty excited about that. Second initiative on revenue was taking back the bar. It was an idea that came up, as I said, straight from the team members' mouths when I talked to them. Our restaurants are about 5,400 square feet. 30% of that is a bar. And we had been, for the majority of our time, a vibrant and fun place for adults to come. It was such an obvious idea, it was brilliant. Red Robin began 40-plus years ago as a bar. The proprietor of the bar was in a barbershop quartet. It's called Sam's Tavern. But Sam hummed, Red Robin came bobbing along while he worked. So the place became known as Red Robin, and the guests asked for some food with their beer. So he swiped the best 5 recipes from his parents' place, and he put burgers in. So Red Robin has a vibrant heritage as a fun place for adults to go with great food. Over time, we added more innovative burger offerings, and the adult business continued to grow. We were one of the first ones to come up with creative mixology, with creative cocktails like the Screaming Red Zombie, the Electric Watermelon, and another one we called Flat on Your Beak. And then fast forward to what's happened more recently. 10 years ago, we did 11% of our sales in alcohol. This most recent year, we did 6%. That's compared to a casual dining average of about 14%. And if you look at BJ's or some of the Yard House or some of the microbrewery guys, they're doing over 20%. So we asked ourselves, if we have 30% of our square footage doing 6% of revenue, something is not working, and something had to be done. So early this year, we started putting the basics back in place. We began offering drink and appetizer specials during off-peak day parts, implementing early and late night happy hour, and we redesigned our menus and our point-of-purchase materials to highlight our alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. By the way, why is this important? Well, for every 1% of mix we increase beverage alcohol sales, we make another $6 million. So as I tell the investment community, it took us 10 years to lose it. It's going to take us a long time to claw it back, but every percentage point we get back, we get financially rewarded. And it's in our DNA. We've always been good at this. Let's just